Hello and welcome back to Stardew Valley IRL, aka gardening. It is time to do some pickling. Now you can use this recipe to also make spicy dilly beans, but we're not doing beans today, we are only doing pickles. So we need some garlic, we need some peppers, and then we also need our pickling spice. You can use a variety of different spices. This is a premixed spice. Here is the recipe for the brine that we're going to use. Now we got all of our jars ready, they're cleaned, they're sanitized. We're putting some peppers and some crushed garlic into each jar. More peppers equals more spice. And here you can see all the peppers and the garlic in their jars. And then we're gonna cut up all of our cucumbers. Be sure to also wash them and put them all in our jars. So this process is usually the part that takes the longest, just because I have a lot of cucumbers and I had a lot to put in jars. But thankfully, I'm going to use a lot of these to give to people as gifts throughout the year. So I've got lots and lots and lots of jars of pickles. And so I hope my friends and my family really like pickles, but I know a lot of them like Bloody Marys, and these will be great for that. And so are spicy dilly beans. And we can do pickled beans more in another video as well. But like I said, you can do this exact same recipe for beans and cucumbers to make pickled beans or pickles. So here's our jars all full of cucumbers. Now we're going to add the brine to each jar. You're going to fill it up to the neck of the jar. And then after we fill it with brine, we're also going to add our pickling spice. Usually I put that in the bottom of the jar, but I forgot. So we'll just add it later, and then we'll have to debubble it anyway and get it mixed in too. So here's me adding that pickling spice because I forgot to before, but that's okay, because like I said, we'll just put it on top. And then debubbling is when you take something, I'm using a chopstick here, to kind of mix everything around and make sure there's no air bubbles stuck under anything, and that'll also get that pickling spice mixed in a little bit too. We're going to clean the rims with some vinegar. We're going to put our lids on, and then you want the rings to be finger tight, so you don't want to crank them down tight, just as tight as you can get them with the tips of your fingers. Here's all of our jars. They are warm. They're not too hot to the touch, but I like carrying them with my fancy little canning carrier, and I'm going to put them in my water bath can, fill it up to the neck of the jar, not over top, just up to the neck. Why? I don't know. That's the way my grandma did it, so that's the way we're going to do it. And then we're going to boil them for 15 minutes. Now that 15-minute timer starts when the water is boiling, not as it is coming to a boil. So once it is boiling, that timer starts. When it's done, let it cool. Don't touch it. You can take the lid off to let it cool off a little bit more. And then once it's cooled down a little bit more, we're going to let them sit out on the counter to cool overnight. You may hear them making little popping, little clicking noises. That means it is sealed. But these are our shelf-stable pickles. So hopefully I didn't talk too fast. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. But there are our pickles.